I do like the Drow versus this opener from Virtus Pro. I think
10
Virtus Pro
seconds
is a team
remaining.
that can crumble a lot in the early game. They actually sometimes don't have very strong early game. They have very strong mid
5
game and
seconds
late game, I
remaining.
think. But early game can be especially weak.
Dire
And
team
tower
ban.
defense is awful right now. It's really, really terrible. Like these heroes struggle a lot versus the Drow Ranger. Faces Void is very farm dependent, and he also just isn't able to get up in Drow Ranger's face. He needs time, and he's also ulti dependent too. Drow
10
Ranger
seconds remaining.
doesn't care about that. You just run at towers very easily.
Yeah, and I mean,
Radiant team's
certainly
turn
there's
to
global
ban.
silence, but that's like the cherry on top normally because they're still going to have all that damage as long as they keep building into other ranged heroes as a part of this as well. Enigma taken out of the pool, and now also the Nature's Prophet. Do you need to start to draft really to protect the Drow Ranger also, since
10 seconds
Silencer
remaining.
his only really tool to do that is global?
5 seconds remaining.
Well, they still have a ton of other picks, and
Dire
it
team's
depends
turn
on
to ban.
what their mid laner is a lot. I think like mid laners like Puck, I think they work very well with the Drow Ranger because it's a ranged hero. Firstly, and secondly, you actually get a decent amount of right clicks off on Puck, and thirdly, you can keep heroes from
Radiant
getting
team's
to the
turn
Drow
to
Ranger.
pick.
That's the most important part about playing a Drow Ranger strat is preventing heroes from rushing the Drow. And Silencer's not bad. Like you can just global after Faces Void ulti or right before Faces Void ulti, ideally, but that doesn't always happen. And then just as they're
10
running
seconds
away,
remaining.
then you can go ahead and kill them. So I wonder what
5
kind of lineup
seconds
Virtus Pro
remaining.
to go for right now. This is because the draw pick just came out for them. What do they want? How do they want to handle this? Nature's Prophet is good at just making things chaotic. Like you're actually fast paced, so you can match the tempo of the Drow Ranger, and you can also. I think it's not terribly easy for Drow Ranger to deal with the NP.
Dire team's turn to pick.
Game, so you require support.
Radiant
It's going to
team's
be an
turn
Earth
to pick.
Spirit again. Now a Clockwork, immediate answer. I'm assuming that's going to be for Bulba. It's sort of his hero quintessentially, but certainly if they want to take into the offlane, that could work as well. But the Earth Spirit, it reveals a lot, and as you mentioned, still not great D push. Good team
10
fight.
seconds remaining.
Kind of rough on the dealing with keeping those lanes pressured.
It shores up
5
their lanes,
seconds
though. And they can
remaining.
also gank the Drow Ranger with it. Oh, yeah, the problem is the Clockwork pick came out
Dire
immediately
team's
after,
turn to
and
pick.
yeah, Ogre is seen as a pretty strong roamer, but Clockwork is, I would say, stronger than both of these heroes at the moment. Bat Rider coming out for Virtus Pro. One very, very good way to deal with the Drow Ranger. Just high ground
Radiant team
is
ban.
almost impenetrable. The faces play Bat Rider as long as they have their decent items. So now they're going to reel it back in a little bit, not putting the pressure on them to push the high ground early. Shadow Fiend that skills throughout the entire game, and the Clockwork SF. Many expected it to be patched out, but it has not been. And
10 seconds
it will
remaining.
continue to wreak havoc on those mid laners that depend on.
5 seconds remaining.
It's a close matchup, I would say, but no one of the best mid laners, Abed, yeah, maybe even better. I would say I don't. That's tough. I would say probably Abed's better mechanically in the early game, but no one's generally more solid in the late. But I mean, no one's still very mechanically skilled in the.
I mean, this looks like the quintessential DC draft too, though. You have all these heroes that are enabling Abed to kind of go off in this game. He's going to be a Shadow Fiend starting with around like 12 to 15 souls, and then also Drow Ranger aura on top of that. What do you even pick to try and deal with it? Do you need to like a lean or something?
Well, I think firstly you need to keep on the Silencer. If Silencer gets big, you're gonna have a really tough time because you're not gonna be able to like kill him at the start of the fight, and he's gonna be able to do a lot of damage and position himself well for global. And Shadow Fiend, you kind of just have to accept he's gonna have a lot of fun. He's gonna have damage from Clockwork Souls, and he's gonna have a lot of damage from the Drow Ranger. So like, how do you outlane like a 80 damage Shadow Fiend in the early game? You're just not gonna be able to. So I mean, they do have a good anti-BKB piercing control or BKB piercing control in the Faces of Void ultimate and the Bat Rider ultimate. So that's already pretty good. I think they just need right now just a right clicker in the mid lane to synergize with Bloodlust. Trying to think of the heroes that would
5 seconds remaining.
be good for them. Shadow Fiend would probably be pretty good for them themselves. TA is like okay, I would say. Actually, TA is pretty good here. I wouldn't mind TA so much. I'm trying to think of any other heroes that are good right clickers in them. That because you want Bloodlust, you don't draft Ogre without a hero to blood. Sniper's already been banned.
You don't think Lena's something where it's just more attack speed on top of attack speed?
So you get diminishing return.
Yeah.
So I also don't like it that much versus a lean. Think of what else. I guess Storm's okay, but it's not that great with the Faceless Void. I don't know. It's hard to think of ranged, good right clickers that can synergize well with
Dire team's turn to pick.
Faceless Void. I guess
Radiant
maybe
team's turn to
they
pick.
banned TA, so that one's
At your
out.
service.
Oh. Is that a Forev Wind Ranger or is that a Bulbul Wind Ranger?
They'll probably see what the matchup is in the top lane.
Yeah.
But I would prefer the Clockwork, I think, to...
10 seconds remaining.
I don't think Wind Ranger's that great of a roamer.
Could you like dual lane them together, I guess, too?
Choose your hero.
Oh, Viper's a good matchup versus SF. It's okay, I would say 1-on-1. It's about I would say maybe even just a tiny bit SF favored in the early game, but Clockwork plus Drow will just make this early game very difficult. So it will be for Ev support and Boba. Wait, yeah, okay, sorry, offlane Wind Ranger. Yeah, I think Wind Ranger needs levels a lot more badly than the Clockwork does.
Well, game number 1 soon to be underway. Virtus Pro facing off against Digital Chaos here in the first game of Group B International. I think that we're the quickest since that LGD Fnatic game finished up pretty quickly. And yeah, are you thinking that the DC have what it takes here against what I'm sure is the favorite in Virtus Pro?
I personally like DC's lineup a decent amount more. It's just the Wind Ranger I have a big question mark about. There's a ton of ways to deal with her. Like the Silence is really good, the Bat Rider's pretty good, and you don't want your Wind Ranger to be poor to the point where she might as well have been a support. And I'm worried that's what's going to happen to Forev this game. She does have Drow Aura, so I guess that kind of makes up for it. So that's the only hesitation I have with choosing DC over Virtus Pro. But Drow Ranger, it looks like a pretty good Drow Ranger game. Drow lineup game, rather.
See if they if Wind Ranger Ogre at all, that extra damage that you were talking about, because that would be normally the way that you play one of these like ranged operators with Drow Aura, right? Is you punish the support, force them back, and then you're secured a decent amount of levels and everything else. But Ogre is obviously known for being hard to bully around. He's a big bad bruiser.
Yeah, I don't know if you want your Ogre over there though to deal with the Wind Ranger. You want him to deal with the SF, right?
Oh, okay.
That's the hero that you actually want to keep down in this early game. So normal cog shenanigans coming out in the early game. I'm trying to do my prediction quickly. Who's going to get a lot of kills?
It's gotta be Abed. I don't know. No one is also just a monster.
Most kills in the first 10 minutes.
Nine souls here for Shadow Fiend. I think he used to be able to get up to 18.
30 seconds
it's not
to battle.
super easy though, because then you have to like sacrifice a bounty rune potentially. And I love this play by VP. This is like the big classic thing that's been going on against Shadow Fiend Clockwork is you try and roam in and kill him as he's going for the bounty rune. But it looks like DC sort of prepared for this. They brought 4 heroes to try and protect Abed.
And ooh, it looks like they were going to try and approach from the south, but they are approaching from the north. Bulba is going to go up in front.
Trying to man the front of this. He will have cogs. Abed is there. He's going to walk forward, get scouted out by all of them. Bulba ended up walking back away. Can he separate them? He is going to be able to, but the jump forward and Abed possibly going to die. Fairy Fire keeps him alive, but he will have to head back home. Now can no one get out of here? Not going to happen. Dubu drawing first blood. -2 for that Viper. See if they can block off Solo as well. Bulba gets the body blocks, get all that movement speed from the boots, and DC striking first. 2-0 to begin.
Whew. They didn't even kill Abed. He did have to use a Fairy Fire, but he already has 15 souls, so he's okay with that. And no one already died in the mid lane. I believe he did give up some intel. And it looks like 2 heroes are giving up intel. Silencer stating at a whopping for it 38 seconds into the game.
Now let's see if they can get Mason. The roll-in was a little bit slow. I'm not sure if he dropped a boulder there if he even wanted to. He just wanted to get into lane a few times, but it is sort of a little bit of a weird dynamic now because it's Mason left alone for the moment since they had to go and protect the Shadow Fiend, but now he's back in lane. Do you expect no one to have a really rough time in this matchup from this point forward?
Not too much, because they don't like. How do you actually kill him? You need Clockwork to wrap around.
Let the fighting recommence.
So he should be okay for a little bit of time. If Viper ever really feels scared, Shadow Fiend can just, or he can just run back. It's not like Shadow Fiend can stun or slow down. It's mostly just all on Bulba. And looks like Ogre is going to be... And I would say more on the top lane if you want to look. Is Pasha going to be able to put pressure on Mason? Because Mason, you do not want Draw Rainer to get level 6 early, because that's going to make your problems even worse.
As it stands, I mean, Abed is hitting for 99, or rather 89 damage at this early point in time in the game. It is quite hard to deal with. But that being said, no one here, 5 and 4 so far, and that's kept Abed back at least for the moment. The creep wave going to be pushing in a little bit, I believe. They're doing a good job of keeping it there, even though there's the 2 range.
Still 90 damage though.
They're pushing him back again. This is not the easiest thing in the world, and Obi's going to have to come back here again to help him.
Yeah, he's self, so he's fine. And yeah, this lane should, I would say, be a wash at this point. No one doesn't have any mana left, so I bet can actually maybe pull ahead a little bit in CS. Pasha is getting a lot though out of this top lane. He doesn't really feel scared at all.
It's going to be Lil heading down to get the bounty route, so he's alone for the moment, but even still able to stay here and make sure that he's getting levels in spite of it. Bottom lane, 1v1 matchup, Ferev versus the Faceless Void. It seems like, for the moment, Ferev's been able to handle a pretty decent time staying away from the Faceless Void and just dealing little bits of chip damage to him.
Yep. I was thinking about other offlaners that are ranged, and it's really only
Stop
just...
it, dead? What? Oh man, that's really not good. He just got ran down.
The double slow?
Yeah.
The 1-1-1. Oh, there goes most of his souls. Now at 9.
But other offlaners you were saying that could have been good in that situation?
Yeah, it's really just Puck, but they first banned Puck. So that's pretty much the only 2 offlaners that you can see with the Drought Aura.
And I mean, it does feel like it's going to be okay for the moment, at least. He's level 4, having himself a decent time and topping the CS charts, about 6 ahead of that Void. I mean, it's still looking like it's a pretty decent start at this point for DC. It's just that Abed is still sitting only at 7 last hits for himself.
Yeah, he is just kind of sitting at tower, not really doing that much.
I don't know, is this like a problem? Like, it feels as if he's missing a couple of these CS that aren't like fully contested, or is it just that it's how scared you have to play against Viper?
I think the Ogre had a big part to do with it. He like kept pulling the wave back towards his side, and the positioning of the creep wave would have forced Abed to come down into the river, which just never really where you want to be.
More damage going in. Lil is chasing Mason down. 4 stacks on top of him, and DC going to lose their carry. It looks like Pasha will die, so that's a +2 for Dubu. Currently sitting with 6 stolen intel. Boba also did get a haster, and he might be trying to wrap in here in a little bit. But looks like he has to wait for that perfect opportunity, and now maybe is that moment. He's just worn off. He can't get in there in time.
They definitely need Boba to make some more moves. He did a really good job of preventing the first blood happening, but he is not really doing a good job after that of making sure that Abed gets his farm, and he's trying to stack right now, it looks like, for Shadow Fiend. And that's really, I think, the best move for him, especially with the creeper in this position, and with that Zero Ward placed by solo, there's very little room to gank no one.
Looks like also Lil is showing up here. They will spot out that means there's a ward up on the high ground. I don't even know if Lil dropped a boulder for that one. Like, as soon as they realized what was happening, they just decided to give up on it and scout out that there was a ward, there was a ping, and might even go to deward that in a little bit.
Yep. Now Viper's almost 6 too, so he can threaten solo kills on SF all the time now. Just needs to be scrolling Abed to feel a little bit safe.
Down bottom, Solo and Lil, this dynamic duo of like melee supports, they keep on moving around and sort of forcing whoever is there back and away. Looks like Ferev was just going to the shrine, still saving that point for the moment and getting the maxed out power shot. What's really going to be like the goal of Ferev in this game? Is he just like a lane pusher and a eventually power taker? Does he have to be DPS?
Wind Ranger with Drower is always good, yes. I mean, he does have that long duration stuns, though. They don't actually have that much lockdown in their team, so he can have those long duration disables that you need.
Stun
He's
silence.
okay.
Trying to get out of there. Yeah, he'll make that escape. So, good decision there. He'll power shot solo as well on his way out. Does have 9 stick charges as well.
Right now, I think the Wind Ranger's main job is just being a pain in the ass to the Void. Like, Void can't really go on a Wind Ranger. Anytime you go up to him, he's just going to Wind Run. And even if you want to Chronosphere him, you have to worry about the instant cast Wind Run coming out before. So, like, but you need to disable it at some point, or else he's going to land a shotgun and you're going to die. So it's not easy for him. And on top of that, Ramsey has to deal with 2 other forms of silence.
Oh, nicely done there. Can he get out? They're trying to chase in for this one. He will not have time lock for another 7 seconds, but Lil is there to keep his carry alive. We'll see if they can power shot. Not quite on the mark. That means that Ramses will escape.
Mason tanked up a few hits just so he could keep that siege creep alive. That was worth half his HP, it looks like, and
snow fortified.
is it going to be enough to keep the tower alive? That flame break.
Wanted to do it. It's taken and dealing a good bit of damage here, but well, it looks like they're going to have to back out yet again. Pasha making sure that they aren't able to take that tier 1 tower. So we're about 7.5 minutes in. It's only been 2 to 3 as far as the kills are concerned. And in terms of net worth, it's Virtus Pro with a slight lead, but it does feel like, at least for the moment, TC are coming up on a timing when they can maybe start to group together and burn through these towers. Do you think that that's sort of the look, the way the game needs to go for them?
Not when SF at this 4. Look at the net worth on SF. He's half Vipers. Yeah, so they need stacks for him to catch up. And ideally some Dragonkin spawns on the side so that he can just triple raise those and get back into the game. Because right now he is poor. He did have 90 damage at the start, but it has not been enough to even come close to dealing with Viper. So, yeah, he has jungle time. There's a triple stack there, but unfortunately no other stacks for him. They really need these T1 towers so that SF can buy some time.
So is what we're learning here that an ogre in a lane is worth more than like Clockwork, Cogs Abuse, and Drow Range Tora, or was this just no one sort of outplaying Abed, do you think?
I think it's just Viper being one of the best lane dominators in the game.
Okay.
So that hero is dreaded in any matchup.
People talk always about how they don't like playing it, but I guess if you come away and win a lane that hard, it's you like winning more than you like not playing Viper.
Yep. Sure. It might have been a misclick in the mid lane too. Look at this observer ward inside the middle of the river.
Oh.
He might have meant to place a sentry ward there, and then they have. It looks like a misclick because they already have an on-zero on the high ground, and you generally just don't place wards inside the river.
Yeah, normally not. That's not the way that Dota's usually played. Oh, VP.
That's the funniest thing when you're like playing with someone newer and you're like, okay, we need vision on top rune, and then they just place a ward on top of the rune.
Yeah. Oh, I know it. Well, you can see up top here too. It's going to be a quick kill. Wind Run got off, but when you bring 4 heroes like that, it's going to happen. I mean, I think I placed. There's one time where I actually placed 2 sentries, but it actually turned out there were 2 observer wards.
Volva.
He's in trouble too. Oh. Solo, no point up, and no mana currently for Fire Blast, so that will be the Clockwork escaping. Dubu actually is going to scout out Pasha. This would be a decent kill for him, getting a nice little bit of intel again. He's starting to burn down a little bit low, but the juke around the trees means they will not find him.
Cracks in Dire's top tower?
Pasha getting away with one there.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Or sorry, his Trankles are still up too, so that's good. Ramsey's getting a lot of time. Looks like he might be able to get this top tower down. I mean, he's getting a lot of damage on it. This is the Faceless Void who had a really rough early game. But now he's number 2 on net worth. Ramsey's
Are those cracks in Dire's top tower?
Performance.
Very happy with that one for sure. It is SF caught up a little bit. He's still, you know, a decent chunk, about 1,000 gold behind the Viper. But there are other heroes that are sort of making up for that as well, and it is Drow Ranger 6 that's online now as well. So the extra damage coming in to all those heroes will make this jungling a little bit more rapid.
Still need a lot more farm on SF. He's getting particularly lucky with the spawn. He has a lot of magic resistance creeps, but no one has felt no pressure this game. He just sits in mid and just right-clicks the SF with impunity. No one even thinks about touching him.
has that health talent as well, so 1700 HP as well as 9 armor on him. It's very hard to deal with. Bottom lane though, maybe going to be something to happen, and Pasha has shown up to help out the Earth Spirit. Is he going to end up dying to that Arcane Curse? It does look like he's going to end up going down to Dubu, but Mason 2 might be the one that ends up falling. Frev trying to find something in return. He will have another power shot in 3 seconds. Can he actually manage to find Pasha? He's going to shoot one off, and instead they'll chase after Solo. So they do get out on the Bat Rider. They only end up losing the 2 supports.
Looks like Drow Ranger wasn't able to spend all her gold before dying, unfortunately, so Mason will be set back a decent amount from the death. And with that, Pasha should be able to get his Blink right now. He didn't die in that last skirmish. That's great for VP.
Yeah, really great.
Dire's top tower is
he's a hero
under
that
attack.
has a lot of other damage on the rest of his
Dire's
team,
top
I would
tower is
say, particularly
strong.
no one at this point. So,
God left
you know, he
behind.
can find those pickoffs with the Blink Dagger. Sometimes you run into issues where the rest of your team doesn't have that damage. Solo gonna place down a couple wards, get fantasy points for all those people out there.
Heck yeah.
Didn't quite find Mason though.
Who'd you put in your fantasy lineup?
I don't know. I think I put Cuckoo in. Although for supports, yeah, I don't remember. I'll have to check in between games.
They're
That's the
beating
real
on
meta,
Dire's
though.
top tower.
Figuring that stuff out. Nobody from Group B, because they have 2 games versus 3 games for all Group A. Thought that was going to be a roll-in, but just trying to clear through the trees, make sure that nobody is scouting over there.
He thought that they had a reserve reward in between T1 and T2, and they saw Bobo running up, but he almost ran off the cliff, but he just backed out at the last second. Looks like Dubu placed a ward, and they know exactly where it is. And Bobo tried to scout a little bit with a rocket flare, and we'll also
Someone better
see
help Dire's middle tower.
Vision,
It looks
Solo
like Dire
coming in.
fortified their structures.
I'd
Radiant's
see
bottom
if we can
tower's
make
got
something happen
problems.
against that SF, but it looks
Dire's
like for
middle
now
tower
DC
isn't
just
going
going
to
to give up
last
the
long.
tower. They don't want to fight if they know that they're going to end up losing the engagement. Hold off, get yourself some more farm on that
Radiant's bottom
SF, and
tower
then take
is
the
under
fight that you
attack.
want.
I guess Radiant fortified their structures.
Yeah, no one is crushing this tower.
Not much good's happening to Radiant's
Max
bottom
Nether
tower.
Toxin.
Are they going to be able to force a fight here? Got a lot of heroes in the area. Oh, that was a nice play. Ends up breaking the Blink Dagger. He will have it back up again in a second, but the Shackle onto 2 as well. Might be able to find 1 kill here and just get out. We'll see if it's indeed going to be the case or not. Bulba instead is just going to have to be the one that ends up falling. Ramsey's going to be able to run him down. But, you know, you'll take that gank. Get the rest of the team out of there.
They did blow global for that though. And the Wind Ranger was unable to connect on that last power shot, going for the super risky build on the Orchid Fish. This is a Mason special himself.
Time is money.
I think he likes it. Might have influenced Forev a bit.
What's the thought behind this build here? What's the big play?
Probably deal with the Void, I would say. But they already have multiple silences, so it's overlapping a bit on silences. And secondly, it gives you no defensive ability.
Top lane also, they found Abed, is going to get chronoed mid-animation, ends up dropping. So lasso and chrono used, but it's big for another hefty blow to the Shadow Fiend. He's still far behind, but you do see that there's like, it's not incredible. Alright, nice pick off there. Fred's going to end up going down. Bulba trying to see if he can kill off no one. Mason almost dead as well. He is going to end up being able to find that kill, but that afterwards, help indeed.
That was a 4v1.
Oh my
and
god.
he killed 2 of them.
So what you're saying is that no one's pretty big right now. A hard man to take down.
They just don't really have the damage without SF there. Drow went for Lance first. Lance is okay on Drow if you're actually hitting towers, but there's still a lot of towers up, and I don't think they're strong enough to just straight up push like that. But it is useful for Pike. Pike is really useful against Void, and I don't know. I still see Viper being a big issue. I like Silver Edge a lot versus Viper. You get rid of corrosive skin, and you also just limit his damage output, and you can actually kill him super easily without poisoning your entire team.
And they will have global up. Said if they do end up, you know, being able to find that Viper, you saw what happened last time. Granted, that was without global, but a lot of these things don't really matter that much because they're all passives anyway. So he doesn't care about global silence.
Nope.
So DC, again, searching for an answer. In your eyes, what's that like item? Because Shadow Fiend's also going for a Dragon Lance, and that's just sort of more stats, right? Does he need to like wait for a BKB or something like that before he's able to fight? Or some other big damage item, possibly?
I don't think he can wait for BKB.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think for what other item you go. I say Silver Edge, but Shadowblade is going to even be a long time coming, let alone a Silver Edge, so I don't think that's the item to wait for. What other things are we talking about? Wind Ranger, I guess, is going for Orchid, but I actually don't foresee Orchid making that big of a difference. It might get like 1 or 2 kills at the start, but Faceless Void already going for Manta style. He knows he's up against Global Silence and at least one other Silence in the Drow Ranger, so he's kind of already well protected out with Orchid.
Alright, well, DC did just spot that the Ogre TP'd in bottom, so they realize they're not going to be able to make a defensive rotation with the Ogre at the very least, and they're going to try and wrap around, see if they can find somebody else, and Pasha would be a pretty tasty pick-off. It looks like if they want to, they could go for that Arcane Curse. No, he blinks away! They scout it out. Oh, and that would have been a big moment if DC could have found that pick-off. Still might have been tough since he was under tier 1 tower.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Jump forward, Pasha, he's going to pull back in. The Wind Ranger, Global Silence is there, so they won't be able to chrono afterwards. And, well, never mind. They can chrono him immediately after the Global Silence wears off, and now that's going to be Forever brought down. One of the best D-push tools in VP, immediately running towards the Roach pit.
I thought this Wind Ranger was going to pay off a lot more for them considering their early start. But I think going for the Orchid, like even a mech I think would have been pretty useful for a team so they can actually have more team fight and not all die to the Viper. But I think the Orchid is just, it's too one-dimensional in that it's trying to deal with the Faceless Void, but it can't even deal with the Faceless Void. Maybe a fast Bloodthorn would actually be okay because everyone that's okay, but the problem is you just die. Yeah, just get lassoed and they had to blow Global immediately, and then you have no mobility after. You can't actually run in and out of the fights. And maybe when you get level 20 with the invisibility on the Wind Run.
And I mean, the other thing is, it's not even, you're still going to have to commit Global in a little while to deal with it because Void is going to have Manta Style soon. So even dealing with him is not going to be particularly easy. Orchid alone is not enough. It does definitely feel like DC do not have that many options available for them, but VP, you know, they've been looking really solid and constantly making the right rotations, good reads.
They buffed up their Viper. I think that's a big difference between DC in this game. They look like they were about to get SF off to a really good start, preventing his first blood, giving him a lot of souls with the Drow aura, and then in the mid game he just completely falsified and is unable to do any damage at all.
And this is like, you know, quintessential too. You can just stay down here in the lane and there's nothing that they can do to really touch him. The nice part about Wind Ranger here is, you know, the low cooldown, the 4 mana regen. You should be able to keep the lane pushed out. But Pasha now with the Force Staff used, caught back up again with the Blink Dagger, the roll in from Lil, the stun, the kick, the kill. No one on a killing spree. I mean, you sort of take those deaths though, right? Like, I don't know. It feels like there's just no other way to do it. You have to keep it.
Ideally, I'd say there are better ways, like power shouting from the fog, arcane curse from the fog, using Drow aura. There are a lot of ways I think they can do it without feeding away deaths. I think if it's a support, it's okay, but Wind Ranger, you need items on her. Well, maybe not Radiant's top tower, other items. The thing about Orchid is like it has to be like the perfect setup too. Like potentially you could Orchid a Bat Rider before he lassos on top of you, potentially, but that's really high risk as opposed to things like Maelstrom, Blink, which is a pretty safe build. Blinkins, I think, holds some value this game too, so you don't get lassoed. Like these are pretty good items that are generally just very safe. Like you're not gonna get you're gonna get value out of the item even if you die. For like Orchid, you're not gonna get value out of it if you die. And it's I think I kind of foresee his game being shut down too. I honestly don't see where it's gonna go now that Ramsey already has his Manta style, and even if he's super afraid of the silence, he can still go for 2 games, right? And I don't think he really needs to, but if he just wants Pasha, or sorry, no one to do all the damage, why not?
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Well, certainly it's a tough situation to be in right now for DC. VP for them, it's going to be tier 2 towers across the map that want to be taken next. You still have the Aegis for another 2 minutes. Do you think that they are in any rush at all to try and like go for a quick tier 3 tower, or do you just go around and finish off all the tier 2?
Well, you know Wind Ranger is going to be useless. You know SF had a really, really tough game, and you still have very good anti-BKB. But they're far enough ahead that they can at least knock on it. They still have the Aegis for quite some time. Viper sitting at 2,400 HP with Strength Red.
And he also went for the Agi talent too, so it's not like he's lacking a ton of damage. The Sanj is there, the Hurricane Pike, and
he has plus 50 agility.
Yeah.
Look at his stats right now. It's incredible.
And he also is going to have Bloodlust there, maxed out by Solo. This is just, it's so hard to deal with. They're actually salving him while he's taking the tower damage to try and make sure that he doesn't drop too low. Tower gone, and DC, they smoked. What are you going to do at this point? There's nothing left. He has the Heaven's Halberd done now. They want to try and kill him off. Still another minute before Roche ends up going down. They are going to be able to get off the Orchid and the Global Silence, actually, keeping him back for the moment. Jump forward. Chronosphere is down onto 2. Can they kill them all off? There's the Magnetize. It spreads around a little bit as well to stun the Silence. It's all gone wrong for DC in this one. Requiem of Souls comes out. No one is low. He wants to die here, actually, and the Raze is going to help it happen as the Aegis is going to be taken back. And the first lane of Barracks down at 22 minutes. GG, they don't want any more. DC got crushed in that one.
Wow, SF just didn't seem like he had a place in the game. I thought he was actually going to do decently well versus the Viper, especially given the start, but yeah, that was a 20 minutes now. Looks like VP strong.
VP really, really good.
Also, Forev just threw away his lead that I built.
I mean, I think under the right circumstance, maybe, but like you said, it was tough. And, anything else that really stuck out to you in that game that we might need to look for going forward?
Let's see. We're seeing a consistent theme of safe laners being left alone, and they are being taken advantage of. Mason died a fair amount this game because he did have the Earth Spirit combined with the Bat Rider join his lane, and we saw Ajit in the last series too. So like a lot of people are favoring these like roaming supports and running around and sitting mid, but it is coming at a cost of a safe laner, and teams are going to have to find the right balance between protecting your safe laner and roaming with your supports in order to win these games.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it on this stream for us, at least. LGD versus Empire is going to continue on with Gods versus Winter, and we'll be back in just a little bit. Well, thank you guys again.
We have game 2.
I am silly. Oh my goodness, I was just looking ahead. I'm not even doing it. We'll be back in a bit, everybody, with game number 2, DC versus Digital Chaos. Unintentional flame, sorry.
LMV just commits the Omni Slash, S4 misses the Hoof Stomp. LMV very quick into the Blade Fury. Allows him to be immune and just spin away from the tier 2 tower.
4-0 on Jugger.
Oh, that's a beautiful sight, man.
He's having a very good start here. Bottom lane, no tail. There's a haste on Fata, though. He does have Sonic Wave.
14 one-charges on no tail, however. He's got... Okay, he's going to commit them. One more Lance is available. Support will not come. Nyx Assassin's too busy trying to help Ana take the stack. He's doing these line impale stuns to give Ana that time to attack in. He's only just got his treads to arrive.
And you have to take this in one go because the Prowlers are healing the camp up very fast.
Yep.
Again, and once the Acolytes start dying, you farm this pretty fast.
It's gonna be nice for Jirax too. This is some good levels for him. Get him closer to having his level 6 so he can be that proper rotation. But meanwhile, all this is happening. Eternal Envy basically dominates the top lane with the help of Pylite Die. There's nothing S4 can get out of this. So you're delaying the Blink Dagger and progression on the Centaur. Are you still okay with this? Considering the trade-off you're taking, like farm for a Templar Assassin for a slowed down Centaur.
I don't think they have much choice. This lineup of OG is very slow, so they're kind of at the mercy of what Cloud9 wants to do, and then they counterplay the best they can. Okay, you guys are top, we're gonna farm the bottom each second, we're spawning with our PL. Okay, you guys are gonna rotate, we'll rotate somewhere else. They're not willing or really able to take the fights. And in this game, S4 is just gonna get sacked. I'm not sure where he can go really at this point. Once the Blink Dagger comes out later, he can have some big plays, but for now he's kind of just screwed.
It's the OG space creation, right? I guess what they've done time and time again in the past is watching Ana just go ham, and then S4 gets in on the top lane farming. Notel's having a really good time with his farm on bottom lane. He's getting solo. He's got Sparta. And once his Diffuser Blade is up, he's also a ganker. He's also a hunter. A real problem for Cloud9, and that's when maybe we turn our attention to Eternal Envy. Going for the Ring of Aquila, going for the early drums. He looks to be going for a very combat kind of style, but is this going to be enough items to deal with the OG aggression when it comes? Speaking of which, Jirax has his Vendetta because that Ancient Stack scouts out 3 heroes moving towards the top lane. They even Sentry just to be safe. The Sentry ward for the Radiant side is a little bit too far over. Now the stun, it hits on Eternal Envy. If they can kill him up before he gets his spin, no, the spin will happen. The Cold Embrace tried to also save S4, who was in a little bit too deep, but it's OG, even with the information, they still cannot take the fight.
That was so sick from MSS. He instantly used Flame Break to knock the Centaur away so he didn't get the hoof stomp on. And after that point, I like that play from OG of trying to go for the Jugger the way they did. MSS was just way too fast, and OG didn't have good enough position to make that kill happen. The idea was good, the execution. Very nice. Out of the Batrider.
They try to protect that healing ward so much. Actually, through his full duration anyway. Just keep pressuring top lane. Notel will have to be up here to defend it. So S4 is finally getting that space he wants on bottom lane. With no tier 1 tower, the tier 2 tower taking a little bit of chip damage. Looks like Cloud9 are still focusing more to the northern side of the map.
Well, Ana is getting a lot of fun. Cleared 2.5 Ancient Stack now, I think.
Number 1 net worth, 5.6k.
Yep.
Compared to the Klopp, who's 4.5k. It's not exactly certain what AUI wants to achieve in bid.
Trying to get into their heads here. He's trying to pretend that there's more pressure being applied here, or that there are other heroes in the neighborhood. Sometimes going for, like, it's such a low-cost play, right? He pays 100 mana to maybe try to mislead or intimidate a little bit. DOTA is a very mental game a lot of the time, so it's like, oh, there's heroes missing Night Stalkers running toward me, be ready to TP mid stuff, and then...
They scanned for it. They were worried about it. The scan happened to the north side of the tier 1.
Basically got into their heads a little bit there at no cost. Good stuff from AUI. And he feels confident probably because there's so little that can kill this Night Stalker. His plays are fairly minimal.
Yep.
Bottom lane, S4 again. I think they saw him. They saw him pulling. He's super dead if they get silence on him now.
They just found him.
Oh!
AUI.
That's some good fog.
Eternal Envy just backed out, and he already committed his phase boots to retreat.
Radiant's bottom tower.
The creep wave's hitting the tier 2 tower. S4 knows something is awry. And in fact, now they just rotate in Jirax.
I don't think they...
I believe you're correct. Unless AUI wants to run underneath the camp, then they'll have a chance. But while that game's going on, the Blink Dagger is now on the Batrider, freshly to be revealed. They smoke up with Lich.
The biggest kill on the map except TA.
Oh, where's your jump? Notel does a react, doppelganger. Find the real one. Notel is trying to retreat back. He's got 17 one-charges of bubble, and there's your Stampede. The Lich ulti flies forward. He's got no way to dodge it, and that will be a blink into a kill. At the same time, Nyx Assassin dies on the bottom lane. AUI is looking for more. But Ana is nearby, has his full Desolator completed now. And they will not fight.
S4, he doesn't have Stampede now.
Oh boy. Thought he wasn't going to fight, but now Wyvern TPs it, needs to get that Cold Embrace off, goes for the curse, holding Eternal Envy in position. Ana waits, hits him with the Mel Strike. They need more damage. Eternal Envy, the healing water's doing work, but no, AUI, the Void, Envy, Ana couldn't reach him. Side blades are just not big enough.
He stopped him mid-attack animation with that Void cast. Barely getting.
And now he wants neither rune. That ain't happening.
So they forced a TP and a curse out of Wyvern at no cost, except that they didn't get the kill on the Centaur. And that gives Pilot Eye a lot of time to get some wards out here and getting some good information on the map. They pushed in top very nicely onto No Tail, so know very well what's going on. And this game right now, with the exception of TA, is looking very, very Cloud9. Getting so much out of the map. Much threat.
They've got better initiation and better control through AUI as well as now through the Blink Dagger of MSS.
There's a ghost.
Yeah, they're really trying to capitalize on their advantage, because I think they also understand though, like even with all this initiation, if OG have time to farm up,
wait, Envy?
Is he baiting with this spin TP out?
That is so Envy. This is like ultra next level.
I'm leaving the fight, which is the damage we require to actually win the fight, but we'll still win the fight because there's enough confidence in the rest of Cloud9 to not kill off Fly, who's retreating back to the T1 tower. The Lich holding Cold Embrace, he'll get a little bit of levels. Void level 4 is available. They'll still kill off Fly.
I think this is the first time I've seen someone spin TP out of his own gank. I mean, I guess it kind of worked. I just think he didn't need to do it. OG were already backing off. He didn't really find any information or...
He came straight back to the lane, like he TP'd to tier 2 and then just ran straight back into the lane, so it was intentional.
For sure. It would have been really nice if OG wanted to go for him. I think he was hoping that they were going to curse him and try to fight, because then his teammates coming in could go for a great counterplay.
Pilot Eye slowed down. Fada's already triggered the Shrine, so Pilot Eye won't have that regeneration. Jirax gets with a stun. Ana, one quick Meld Strike, and this Lich, for all the armor he might have, he won't survive, but they bring in the extra help. PL's arriving. Fada wanted to run. Sonic Wave, not worth committing. He's down, and AUI. Jirax has stun in 1 second time. They'll remove the vision. The stun, it doesn't reach. The Impale of Jirax cannot get that far. And AUI will be able to get back out to safety. And OG, originally they're looking for Roshan. Maybe now they just take the tier 1 tower top.
It's really big for them that Ana has this much farm. He is doing all the damage right now. That fight he got, I think 2 Meld Strikes off. The Hata re-going, reinitiating on the Queen of Pain turned out to be a big mistake. I think he had the right intention to do it. Next to their shrine, they could have needed heroes to help and maybe take that fight.
Here we go, Blink Lasso, they found a big one. There's Ana, they'll protect him already with a Cold Embrace, as now the curse onto Eternal Envy. S4 prepping himself, but they just stampede out. OG make the call, this is not worth squeeze, but maybe they still find Ana. He has a TP, killing off MSS, but the Omni Slash, Refraction was down, didn't have Meld as an option. No-Tail and Fly, both hit by the Sonic Wave of Fada. No-Tail escaping out impossible. Now the Lich Holding flies forward, he will go down. Fada claiming that kill, no doppelganger to work with, and there was not much that Jirax could do to help. Not once that Chain Frost went.
The silver lining for OG here is that there's no darkness, so I think C9 still are not in a position to really take any buildings right now, or get any good vision now. Jirax is still scouting. Pretty confident with his move, running through the river. He's there. Or his Vendetta is going to expire. Really learned too much there. Back toward mid. So Cloud9 still looking pretty good. I like this a lot from Fata, by the way. The rushing of Orchid against the lineup he's facing is extremely good against Wyvern and Nyx and PL. An absolutely great item this game. We see most Queens today go for the Veil first, but I think the Orchid...
DC's turn to pick.
Radiant Team's turn to pick.
Silencer.
10 seconds remaining. Radiant team's turn to pick.
Dark Seer.
Sven stands ready.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Certainly a strong combination, and they can follow it up with a lot of different teamfight heroes depending upon what they
Radiant
need.
team's turn to ban.
Really bad at stopping us.
Queen of
Wow.
Pain.
First phase quap. Now, this is something that we saw more often happen in Southeast Asia in the TI qualifiers. They would take one of Quap or Lina because they were like two of the strongest laning heroes in the game, and then they would basically give up the other. Do you think that that's still viable at all? Like, what's the worry in picking a Quap this early?
5 seconds remaining.
Okay.
Dire team's turn to ban.
So is that the ban now? Do you ban out Viper?
Radiant
Viper
team
Razor?
ban.
They should. Considering what happened last game. Okay,
Yeah.
they immediately banned it out, so that's good. Razor is not good. Razor's, I think, actually, Quap's one of his worst matchup. Who else is good? Lina, I would suppose. I don't know. You don't necessarily have to focus on the mid lane that much. I also think they rendered the silencer fairly useless
10
too.
seconds
When silencer
remaining.
has to blow global defensively and nothing happens, you're also going to lose it.
5
that's kind of what
seconds
happened to them.
remaining.
Like, they need to use it to save someone from a lasso or something like that. But right now, it looks like they're going to run at you. They have Warcry, they have Surge, so they're going to have heroes all up in your face all the time.
Dire team
And
ban.
you need some sort of like a combo breaker, some sort of distance maker in the team fight so that you can create space in between your range heroes and these melee heroes, or else they're just going to do way too much damage. People
Radiant team's turn to pick.
vacuumed in.
Well, we'll have to watch and wait. And
Like BKB Enigma. That's a hero that stops people from running it.
okay.
You will get destroyed.
What about something like a Wyvern? We've been seeing that happen occasionally.
team's turn
BKB
to
Pearson
pick.
disable, good against right click lineups.
Don't like it because of a Sven. Sven's
Radiant
Warcry
team's turn to
renders
pick.
very useless. You don't really want to rely too much on that. So Clockwork, I think, is more along those veins of, like, you have Cog. Cog causes a lot of issues for the need a lot of mobility in the team. If you can't bypass the Cogs, you need a Link, and it's going to slow down your game a lot and just overall make
10
maneuvering.
seconds remaining.
I mean, conceivably, they could
5
still
seconds
end up
remaining.
doing, another type of big initiation offlaner as well if they wanted to here. Like, we could go
Dire
back to something
team's
like
turn
we
to
saw in the
pick.
first series, a Centaur. A DK taken. More of the same type of style from Virtus Pro. Again, somebody that just slowly whittles people away. Whittles away towers more often than not with his ulti.
Yeah, here you want like heavy magical damage. So like AA, I would think
10
would be really
seconds
good. You have the
remaining.
spell amplify and you have the ulti. However, they already have both their supports most likely. So what
5
other
seconds
like I also
remaining.
think Bat Rider for themselves would actually be pretty good here. To kite the Sven, BKB piercing disable, like 0 physical damage coming out from that hero. So very good versus heavy armor. Lineup. Also, pure damage is useful. Timber Saw might be worthy of consideration, although it would struggle a lot versus the Disruptor, I would say, for the game. But good pick. Mason likes Weaver a lot. He plays Juggernaut sometimes. Two heroes are off. Plays Slark, not good. I'm trying to think of any heroes that... Because Mason needs a hero right now. They're not going to get the last pick, so...
Radiant team ban.
Okay.
You said that this would be another
Yeah,
good thing.
That's fine for them. I'm still worried about Mason's pick though. Like you don't want physical damage. They've already committed very heavy for physical mitigation. Yeah, you're gonna have to deal with BKBs at some point, but you still need some sort of magic damage.
10 seconds
I guess Luna.
remaining.
Luna's pretty good. I like Luna a lot actually.
That could be pretty interesting.
5
yeah,
seconds
it's a
left.
decent amount of
Don't
magical
freeze up.
damage there as well.
Mirana might not be that bad too. I like Mirana a lot because it kind of fits their theme with their lineup of keep away with damage from afar, ranged magic.
Dire
He's
team's
played
turn to
Veno a
ban.
decent amount too. Bristleback is another one, which might not.
Don't
It's
like
not good
Bristleback.
against Sven, so
I guess Veno is all right. I think it might just struggle in the. They haven't picked what hero yet.
10 seconds
Lil could also be
remaining.
playing Sven. I haven't seen him play support Sven before.
the ultimate. He'd turn it back
5
around on
seconds
him, think he's
remaining.
going there in the safe, and it's all gone wrong. I mean, Bat Rider's already a great answer for Sven, so in a carry role, maybe that is the turnaround that they want to do.
Yeah, they typically don't save Lil's hero for last though.
Well, a lot of time left on the bans for Digital Chaos. What really like messes with their draft? Is there a certain type of hero that does?
Messes with who's?
With
DCs?
like stopping
team's
the
turn to
pressure
pick.
that they can throw out, or
Radiant team's
well, I
turn to
guess it's
pick.
just going to come out right now, and it's going to be the Lifestealer, another classic, one of his most played heroes.
Lifestealer bad. Yeah, he's like all physical. It's tough. Very tough matchup for him.
They have global as well, so it's like great initiation. You know, you jump in there, you global. Maybe you just don't go on the
10
Sven, and you
seconds
try and find
remaining.
pickoffs instead.
Yeah, the thing is he can work out his whole team, and
5
they have Darkseer
seconds
too. Like,
remaining.
Darkseer is really good at like stopping a jump on someone.
Guardian Greaves builder too.
PL has been banned. They do expect the support carry last. I think Slark's actually pretty good. But I'm trying to think of other matches that are good versus Weaver or Batrider. Weaver is also pretty good too. Those two are probably the most common pickouts versus Batrider. We see Jug sometimes, but Jug also not bad. I mean, any of those anti-Batrider safe laners seem here.
Yeah, left themselves very open. I mean, that's the thing that's cool about this draft too, is that like it feels like Quap needs to roam around a lot, so DK is going to have pretty free reign to push mid and then eventually take that tower when she leaves. So as long as you pick somebody survivable, they'll be good to go.
Accurate.
Yay!
Who's it going to be? Maybe they want. I think they want more of a melee hero though, because I think when you have Darkseer, you want to make use of the Ion Shell, so heroes that can like get in there, up close, personal. Slark and Jug I would prefer. Also because Jug can build Manta, I think he holds extra value because you are Silencer.
Or like Blink Abyssal late game against Quap too.
Yeah,
that type of style. I like that a lot. Jug sounds great. I mean, Ramses has a huge hero pool though, and it still could be Lil Hero.
Could be Troll too. Troll's also pretty. He's not a good matchup versus Batrider, but he owns Lifestealer. Like Lifestealer would be useless, but not so good versus. I think Bat's actually the. I think Forev is very proficient.
Oh, VP getting down to the wire here. Maybe not so confident. Maybe it was the PL that they were hoping to take in that last pick. As it stands, it is instead going to be the Nyx Assassin.
Okay, so they have swapped it up. It will be Ramses, Sven. I mean, Sven, Gary, I suppose. More expected it that it would be Ramses hero last. Wait, that DC banned out last. Pulling the old Swapperoo, the anti-Nyx, and the anti-Quap.
Yeah, that's pretty great, and obviously against the Batrider, it's amazing. I don't know. Do you like the pick? Do you think that they do enough early? Like they have kind of setups for Impale with Glimpse back and stuff, but what's your thoughts? Whose draft do you like more?
Trying to think about it, like if I didn't see the. I would say if I didn't see the teams, I'd probably like VPs more. I think Lifestealer was going to struggle a lot with damage because of all this armor. He's a decent matchup versus Nyx, but he's actually not going to be versus Nyx much of the time. Nyx is a support role, and then Pasha's also going to have a really good time, I think, because how does Silencer zone out a Darkseer? I don't think you can.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be really tough. Well, game 2 getting ready to be. VP
Prepare for
around
battle.
the roller VP, who have just proven to be so hard to deal with, and have also put together a really strong draft here in this one. So Bulba, he's going to lay down one of these wards over here to the side. Get a nice little block off on that. We'll see if they're able to make it happen. Big early movements. Last time around, it was the clockwork that was important to make things happen mid, with the Ogre also babysitting that Viper. Where do you see these supports rotating to and roaming it, or is that even going to happen in this game?
Just babysitting mid?
Yeah.
I don't really think you can roam too much. Disruptor's mediocre at roaming. Nyx Assassin, mediocre too. I think maybe both of them combined, but I think they just want to make sure this Batrider has a really good
30
game.
seconds to
Like,
battle.
you don't want him to get BKB this game. Like, you want to prevent that, not at all costs, but you just enough pressure on him in the early game so that you slow down his blink, which will slow down the mid game, and then slow down his BKB.
Okay.
Because Nyx will destroy them. Nyx and Darkseer. That's a great combo that they have. And on top of that, they have the Destructor Static Storm. But all of this gets countered by PKB. Ooh, smoke early from Solo to place the Observer Ward in the middle lane. And then perhaps to get the chance to be able to do it.
Dream. This would be such a great way to help out his mid laner and see if Abed is actually, he is bringing something out right now, and they're not going to be fully expecting this. He's going to be going for the block instead on this Queen of Pain. Oh no, the chicken. I think it is going to be going down here if he scouts it out in time, and we'll see if he can get the range on both hits.
Dyer's
1, 2, goes down, and that's a salve as well.
Nice. So that is value out of your smoke. I really dislike it when some teams in the early game, they don't buy the smoke early, because smokes are so valuable in competitive play, and starting the cooldown immediately at the start is really good, and starting the cooldown at the start and getting a chicken kill and a good Observer Ward down, that's the dream.
Yeah, all the above. No one did get pushed back by the cogs, which means that he's going to be low on mana through his first couple of waves until he gets that bottle brought all the way out. See if Bulba can get a Courier Snake too, unlikely. But yeah, it is just going to be a little bit pushing back and forth here as Lil is moved into the mid lane to help out a little bit more.
Well, Abed's lane secured, at least for a little bit. I said that last game, and he got demolished. So let's not jinx Abed.
Yeah, it certainly wasn't good for him last time around. And for Ev, he's also being sort of bullied around a little bit here by Solo. That still are able to keep that Bat Rider back at least a little bit. And they're keeping the pressure on no one. You know, making sure that even though he's got the help from Lil, it's not the easiest time in the world.
What pressure, says his 8 tangos in 1 cell.
That's true. He's got a hell of a lot of regen.
Not a way to do it.
Dragon Blood. Okay. So babysitting mid going on. No one actually... Okay.
He was sacrificing his HP for CS, which is completely fine when he had that much regen.
I always get so nervous when I see those health bars get down low, particularly with the blinking hero like Quap, but with only level 2, it would have been a pretty big death there, probably jumping into tower range. Pasha able to get a good amount up top as well, 6 CS for him so far in this off lane, and it's not quite the same level of kill potential here as you see in the bottom lane with the
Bat's still 1.
Yeah.
That was with Solo starting off his mid lane at the very early levels, which is generally when you would expect him to be able to get level 2, but with that TP down to the bottom lane, he's been doing a very, very good job. Solo.
And taking him down. First blood drawn by Ramses. Kinetic Field and Thunderstrike. More than enough to punish that Bat Rider.
That's one of those weird moments that you actually would have wanted to skill Flame Break instead. He was up in the air. He was flying because of Firefly, but he actually couldn't move at all. He couldn't clip people because of the kinetic field.
Are those
so
cracks in Dyer's top
maybe he can get a kill. I haven't seen that build before, but I think in this one particular instance, it would have been better.
Okay.
But I don't even know if it's worth the sacrifice not having Firefly too, because then you can't even jump. So what Forev is doing?
That's such a tough lane, and you might even end up seeing one of these other heroes rotate in. It looks like Bulba is going to try and do whatever he can in this lane and pick up some levels. Which is probably the right thing to be doing, but even he's going to have some trouble as Solo keeps on throwing out that Thunderstrike. Mid lane, it's Abed who's been left kind of completely alone at this point, but he's having a decent time, although as I say that, he's going to get caught out. Does have Blink and a salve, but is holding on to it for the moment. Bulba battery assaulted is going to be running down Solo at least a little bit for the moment, but with Forev only level 2, will not have any way to push him back in again. Ramses does have another stun here, and with the kinetic field already laid down, moving onto the Bat Rider, almost can connect onto him. He's so low HP, 35 in fact, but we'll be able to make the escape. Close call.
Yeah, nice to put that there, but little bit
Dyer's bottom tower needs some help.
A gift from the Tempest of Battle.
Well, mid lane, Quap continuing to max out the dagger. I don't know. What do you think about this, since it's kind of no pressure from
somewhat. Boba coming in. There are a lot of heroes.
Now battery assault pulling him back in there. Although the stun came out, that does mean that no one will escape. With the 2 rotations mid, not bearing fruit for DC.
What a player. How do you not die in that situation? And look at his CS now.
Yeah. They also spotted the smoke movement coming in from Dubu and Bulba, and they're actually going to run right into him. Solo can get the pullback if he wants to. He only has 1 point glimpse, a little bit outside of range, actually. So that does mean that Bulba will make the escape, but now you have the 2 heroes mirroring their rotations, and DC, they're going to end up being pulled back in yet again. Can Forev stay alive long enough for the rest of his team to get here and get in range? It looks like the answer is no. The cogs connect onto 2. But that's just going to be more farm for Ramses. They're just not really able to make stuff happen with these heroes like you were talking about. It's kind of hard with them.
And no one is actually just so good, though. Like, his build, I think, at the start, kind of won him this lane. Remember when people always used to just buy, you know, you get pulled a couple of tangos, whatever, and then you bring yourself a self? No one didn't do that. He had 3 sets of regen. So, like, Quap, yeah, you can spend all your mana harassing him, but then no one's going to come out ahead on CS, which is exactly what he did. That's the thing. This dude is so experienced in the mid lane that he knows all these matchups inside out. He can go for these different sort of builds, and, I mean, it doesn't sound like that big of a deal, right? Having 3 sets of regen at the start, but I think in this particular matchup, especially with the way that it started with Clockwork just manhandling him and burning all his mana away, he should have had a way more difficult time, but right now, whacking on a tower that half HP. Look at this guy.
Dragon Knight player through and through, making it work, and even forced the Queen of Pain out of lane. So, everything coming up right now versus Pro. Is there any lane that's going like really good? The Lifestealer is still getting decent CS for himself. Is that something that, you know, is sort of what DC need to fall back upon?
Well, they don't care about him. They have the Dragon Knight armor and they have the Sven armor. So like, yeah, and they have Surge to even kite the open wounds if he even wants to cast it. So I didn't like the pick at the start, and without their other cores doing well, like without the Bat Rider lasso for the Infest Bomb, how are they going to get kills? And with Pain not dominating the mid lane, I mean, she's not doing poorly in my phase. I wouldn't say she's doing well. She's kind of in that in-between phase. 5.5 out of 10.
Looks like the Bat Rider too is trying to go back for the drum, so it's going to be a long time before that Infest Bomb comes out, or at least a brace, you know, going in for the Tranquils. But we'll have to wait and see. About 7.5 minutes in, 2-0 is the score, but it's really the difference in net worth that's pronounced at this point, shooting almost at that 4K mark.
I think also the tower HP too. Like, yeah. Mid is at half HP, bottom tower is 2/3 HP for Digital Chaos. So they're going to start losing objectives very soon, and they need time. Bat Rider needs to get his win back, and Quap needs any items that she can get. Veil pretty much. I would say it's imperative in this game, actually. Yeah, she needs the armor, and they definitely need more magic damage versus this lineup. So yeah.
Well, maybe something can be made of it down here bottom. They're bringing in Boba. A good Cogs pushback, actually, is going to be able to keep Forev alive for the moment. We'll see if they can find any more. Ramses is there as well. He's in the area right now with the battery assault, but they don't quite have level 6 yet on Forev, only level 4. And so all they can do is keep him alive while mid lane, more action a brewing. The catch was almost there. Abed taking the DOT, but it's not enough to kill him off, and he had the 12 stick charges anyways.
Well, I think that might be his lost tower, though.
Yeah. No one gonna push the tempo. He has stick charges too. Could have popped them to fire and maybe push this out a little bit quicker, but he'll still be there in time, I'm pretty sure. They want to come and contest, actually? They'll keep their tower alive for now.
I bet actually didn't go all the way home. Just got a bounty rune.
He used those stick charges too while dropping everything, it looks like.
Bottom tower needs some help.
Yeah, he needs to stay around in this mid lane. Tower's at a quarter HP and just there's still a little bit of time up on Dragon Knight, but I don't think he's going to be able to get that last hit. Midas on lifesteal.
Alright. We're doing it. I mean, if you need to catch up, right?
Well, he's not behind.
Yeah.
I think I do like Midas versus the Darkseer. You can just instantly Midas his creep and not have to deal with the Ion Shell with Ice. But it doesn't really game base that, which is already a little bit slow. I guess he's maybe trying to match his Bat Rider, which is kind of cool. Like, you don't want to go armless, like, oh, I'm ready to infest, and then Batrider's like, Blink Dagger in about 1,500 gold, and I'll see you in about 5 minutes. And he's like, okay, well, I could have just
Radiant's
farmed
middle
for another 5
tower
minutes
could
with
use some
my Midas.
help.
So, yeah, makes sense.
Okay. We did see. Surge forward, looking for it. Do they realize?
That would have been. Oh no! That would have been the Midas too. That would have been devastating.
Yeah, look at this. They placed down an observer ward in the mid lane here to try and see if they could snatch it off, and then over here as well in the jungle. But now with Mason on top of Pasha, he'll always have Surge to get away, so doesn't really need to be that concerned.
I wonder if they rolled low in their damage.
Maybe, yeah. Oh no, this is going to be Queen of Pain dead most likely. Solo is there, and they pull him back in. They will pop the glyph right now for the tower, but I don't think they have intentions of saving
Radiant's
this.
bottom tower is under attack.
I think so. Don't think you can.
Dire's middle tower isn't going to last long.
Rev's still 1,000 gold away from his Blink Dagger. Like we talked about, the Midas is done for Lifestealer now, so he's going to start to accelerate a little bit more in terms of his gold. And I guess that it is really just waiting for that Blink he can infest bomb before any type of big play comes out for DC. But is Clockwork, like, I guess the other hero that can maybe find like a wraparound and kill? I don't know. It's tough. I guess that's the problem.
Disruptor is not even vulnerable because he can just glimpse him back.
So what's VP looking to do now then? They've taken the first tower.
Get Nyx 6 is first. Once they get Nyx 6, they can open up the map a little bit more. I would say they can probably make another attempt at the Batrider before he gets his Blink Dagger, or they could just farm up with Basket Madness Fen. That's also a pretty good option for them because he is excellent at taking out stacks. And look at this stack. He might be like a 6 stack. Wait, how many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4. It's only a 4 stack right now. So let's see if he gets a stack on.
Well, he is going to finish it off now, and it looks like they actually didn't keep Nyx around to get those levels. He's down bottom, where a lot of DC is, and Solo actually is going to scout out Dubu, as well as Bulba. The glimpse comes out. He was able to trap him in the Cog Zone with the Flame Break pushback. This might be another +2 for Dubu. Something going right for DC. Much needed.
First kill of the game!
Hey! It's been a really slow-paced one.
Yeah. We have Midas on one side, a Batrider on the same side who doesn't really have any items, and then you have a Sven on the other side, so kind of expected, I would say.
Radiant's middle tower shouldn't have to take this abuse.
What is going to
They're
happen soon?
beating on
Darkseer
Dire's
has
top
mech
tower.
if he wants to buy it right now. Sven doesn't have Blink Dagger, but I say once Sven gets it, he can actually start making moves.
Dire's
Dragon Knight
top
has
tower is
armor
under attack.
This is when the game starts to heat up. Don't you worry, Gabe.
Oh, baby. Well, there's one thing. They already find one kill, and Dubu did end up getting the intel for that, but he's going to pay for it. They find another pickoff here. Ramses with the Echo Saber newly completed. So, a 1-for-1 exchange.
I
They're
noticed
beating on Dire's top
that
tower.
Ramses really likes the Agi treads. He likes that attack speed. Over double dipping
Dire's
into the
top
screen.
tower is under attack.
God's
God, let's see if it pays off here. Abed. Man, look at how much damage he took. And that wasn't even with God's strength used. It's just running at him with a stun.
making him live a life of fear, man.
I guess there is a little bit of maybe some mentality issues in there as well. You sort of make sure that people know you're always going to be coming at them.
I mean, really, what did they use there? Just wall. I don't really think they need walls to win the game right now. They're pretty far ahead. So I think it's a good mistake to be made.
Yeah.
You also like make them blow shrines, and they don't use that top shrine to fight or to heal up with that. So you trade a wall for shrine.
Structures are fortified.
Pretty good.
Yeah. A lot longer cooldown on the shrine, that's for sure.
And the tilt aspect.
There you go. Always underrated. Well, no one. DD rune on the Dragonite with that dragon form enabled. The tower did not stand a chance, so 2 tier 1s taken. And still, Sven continues to farm away. Everything is going good for VP here. I don't really see what it is that DC can do until they get those big items up. And
Blink's almost up, though.
they're almost there, yeah.
It's just a problem because they don't have the infrastructure to also deal with the Nyx assassin. How do you deal with it when your supports are broke, when your cores are broke?
Yeah. Well, and not only that too, but maybe that initiation fully gets turned back around as well with the Nyx Assassin there, and having Spike Carapace to just interrupt Batrider.
That would be sick. Okay, here they go. Forev, let's see the smokes. It's time, buddy. It is time.
Now, VP, are they going to put themselves in a position to get picked off too? Because if they're all together, it still feels like this net worth advantage could be kind of hard to deal with. And Pasha does have that mechanism completed, and he is TPing up top. This could be a tough fight for DC nonetheless, in spite of having those initiation items.
They know something's up though. No one's showing on the map at all. They have pretty deep wards too, and they use a scan to cover mid. So let's see. Is Lil going to be able to pop the smoke? He actually isn't sure which direction it's coming from, but he knows it's coming from either
Dire's top tower has fallen.
They're walking forward again. Bulba is there. The smoke breaks at least once. They drop down a ward, and now a sentry as well. So they are going to have eyes on Lil in just a second. We can see if they feel them there.
Look at Batrider though to the top side.
He's waiting. He wants this one badly. No one is going to be there. Abed as well. They jump forward, catch onto him as well. Global follow-up. It's the perfect initiation. Is it the perfect target, though? Can they kill off no one? The answer is yes. And now Ramses left with nowhere more to go. Static Storm is down. VP, they're going forward. Bulba being the one who's going to sacrifice himself slightly. Already taken out again. Another vacuum back in for Rev. Is he going to be able to get out now? They're going to surge away. VP do not want to take this fight if they can avoid it. And Pasha might be the one who gets left behind. Open Wounds is there. Quick couple right clicks and the kill. DC back on the map.
Excellent angle from approaching the Dragon Knight right there. That was really well played by them, because
tower shouldn't have to take this abuse.
They feigned a maneuver from the south because you saw the clockwork move up forward to place a ward. So when they're up in that jungle area, you expect them to freeze right above him, because it's very unusual for them to be separated that far out. And then what they actually did was, yeah, they feigned the maneuver to the south, and they wrapped around north with the lasso. They weren't actually ready for that. Supports were way too far away. Yeah, they needed to interrupt the Quap combo. You can't stop the life steal. It's already fake. So the only thing they can stop is the Quap from getting all her spells off. He was able to.
Yeah, and it was enough to blow him up, showing that there's still decent damage on DC when they have all those ultis online. As far as VP is concerned, is that something that you need to be pretty concerned about at this point? Like your Dragon Knight dying? I didn't quite see what the interaction was with his armlet, if it was on at that time or not, but...
So he was able to get it off. I think what he might need is a hood or a BKB, which it looks like he's going for. Just some way so he doesn't die. But the problem is, if he builds Tinky, then they'll just go on Ramses. So... What the fake back? Be a shrine?
Not much good happening to
Rev is checking it. They know it's coming. Oh man, that was so close, so low. He actually does get the glimpse though, and there's the Static Storm, and it pulled the Life Stealer in as well, so he's going to be stuck in this also. And can they catch him out? Can they kill him off? He's going to get the Rage TP away. That would have been huge.
He almost got back. That was so close.
Now he's taking this fight without Firefly, without Lasso available. A lot harder for DC. They will have Hookshot. Maybe Bulba can go for a snipe here. Pasha is trying to be that gatekeeper. For the angle. Lil going for the impale. Pump fakes as well. They might scout him out. They wrap around. Lil is there again to break it out. And Bulba off to the side, jumps in. Can he get it? He's already down. Aegis is on the ground as well, but no one picks it up. And Bulba is going to drop. Sonic Wave comes out as well. They're able to get that lasso down onto one. That's no one, still in a little bit of trouble, but do they have enough damage? Dire is here. Abed is out of mana, and Lil able to make the escape. He's back in again for one. That's solo down as well, and no one. Can they kill him off twice? The surge away, I think the answer is no. But DC, they strike back in a big way.
Still a pretty good fight for them. Nice play by Bulba. He went so far around. He kind of expected that they might have a ward over there with the way that he was moving. He went so far to the left side. There were two heroes trying to block his hook shot.
Yeah.
Worthy to...
That's really impressive, definitely.
Yeah, that was a very nice play from Bulba. Set it all up.
Oh, Lil actually getting slowed down by the ghost there for a second.
He has Blink Dagger already? And Arcanes?
He had that for the Roche fight.
Yeah, oh my goodness, he's fun. He did get it so
Pasha trying to run away from there. Can he make his escape? Bulba's chasing him down pretty swift, pretty quick. And is going to be able to catch him. Push back VP losing another. Never mind. Ramses comes in mad as hell and takes him down. Oh, man. That's a pretty big guy.
Hello, Mick.
Oh, it was looking so good for a second there. But Sven hit very hard. 10,000 net worth on him. Has that blink dagger done, and well, about halfway to the BKB as well.
BKB is going to be an issue. A big issue, I would say.
Looks like Abed actually is going to be going for the BKB as well, and Solo pulls him back in for the Static Storm. Can they get the rest of these heroes here in time? Ramsey shows up, blinks in. Do they have the counterplay, though? It's actually going to be Forev lassoing Ramses, trying to make sure he escapes, and he's getting pretty aggressive. Is going to be pulled back in. A vacuum and a stun from no one. Forev still able to live for this for the moment, but no, in the end, that Thunderstrike was too much.
The end.
Dead. Yeah, it keeps on being like these very scrappy little engagements, and it always feels like Virtus Pro maybe a little bit more mobility, maybe a little bit more just like you were saying, ability to turn a fight around with like that Dark Seer mechanism and back and all that.
BKB number 1.
So how big of an issue is this? What's the sort of order of operations of the fight now? Like it's still going to be no one like sieging the tower, right?
The order it'll be similar, except DC are going to try to kill them before they get the BKBs off, and VP's going to try and stop them from killing them before the BKBs off. Like drop Static Storm, drop your do the counter initiation with Vacuum Wall. So I am skeptical of DC's chances to actually kill them before the BKBs comes out, especially if Warcry's up. I think that top fight, something smart that Ramses did also was pre-casting Warcry. Normally you cast it reactively because it's not that high of uptime. Oh, Lil.
Again, really good play. But precasting the Warcry, making sure that the fight would go well with high armor on all their heroes.
Yeah, before the lasso comes out. That's the important part. If you don't get your spells off before lasso, you're just gonna die. Especially your armor. It's not like passive.
Oh, nice hook there. Able to thread the needle and make his way around the Batrider. So no one's going to be pulled in again for the moment. They do have Lil in the area, pump faking that, and the BKB finally comes out, as well as the surge away.
I guess
So one charge of it down.
You could tell that he didn't want to pop it. Like, I don't want to pop it. I don't want to pop it.
Radiant's top tower
I'd rather pop it than be dead.
Someone better help Dire's middle tower.
Do you like the Deso pickup for Lifestealer as well? Sort of the answer to the Warcry in a lot of ways.
He's still well in the positives though with Warcry. Warcry is 20 armor. Deso is not needed.
Dire's bottom tower is being chipped away.
It does help with killing the supports, and it does help bursting them in that time frame before they pop BKB. I think that's the most important part about it.
You also have Dubu, who's picked up a medallion, so there's more minus armor here to try and at least make things slightly better. But again, making all of that happen onto one hero, it feels like you're investing a lot into them, and if it doesn't work, then the rest of the team fight's just over.
Yes.
But yeah, how do you need to sort of wait for like that next Aegis to come back around for VP now, or what's you still think they feel pretty comfortable just pushing down each of these lanes?
Just push down each of these lanes and let Nixus not died yet this game.
Tower is under attack.
So that he's doing exactly what he needs to do. He's moving around the map elusively, popping smokes, getting vision on heroes, getting easy solo pickoffs when he can, and just setting up generally very well for his team.
Lil just went down.
I would say probably the most important player for their team right now. Like him being able to make sure that his cores get farmed by where he leads. Like look at where he's scouting right now. He's like out in the back looking for a potential wraparound angle from the lasso and the Lifestealer bomb that they've been doing. But now he's just okay, DC are just a bunch of wusses. They're gonna send us at the face because they don't want to lose the game right now. And VP are like, okay, well we need to get more advantage. And while they're still stuck in there. But he's scouting out from the potential wraparound angles from DZ, because the fight could go really well for him. Blink Lasso into tons of bursts, like from Quap before the BKBs pop off. That's the dream. But if he gets his eyes on the Queen of Pain, or it stuns her before her BKB, let's say, or if he gets his eyes on the Batrider, so well.
Global comes out. Oh, Bulba the hook shot in the perfect timing. They're able to find those two heroes, and Ramsey's waiting to jump back in the vacuum wall. The stun's there a little bit late. He's actually able to find the lasso for Rev, making the plays to keep his team alive. If they win it, this would be such a big combo for them. Mason is going to be dropped down, though. And Abed managing to get out for the moment. Can he escape Pasha? It looks like the answer is yes. That could have gone so much worse for DC.
Well, the cores were sitting back. That's the thing. They almost set up with a big Darkseer's vacuum wall and storm. That was really close, but Forev was even on the lookout for it. He lassoed the Sven immediately as soon as he blinked in, but still, they had to blow, what, 2 ultimates, I think, at the start to kill those 2 supports, which was pretty good, but they still did get some spells off.
It was also a disruptor buyback in the midst of that, so...
Solo does that a lot, but that's fine. He has GPM talent. Whatevs.
Nice. Good stuff. Yeah, it did show again also the power of Darkseer Greaves in that, being able to stay get out of the global and then return the damage in kind, get the turnaround happening.
They're beating on Dire's
BKB charges down to 8 seconds here as well. When those charges do start to get down to the 5-second mark, is that something to be pretty concerned about for Virtus Pro, or is it like enough burst damage that it doesn't really matter?
If Quap gets bigger, it's a problem. But she's the next.
Dire's top tower is gone.
Right now, she's not
Just
big
a
enough.
cold fog left behind.
He can still kill people in 5 seconds. That's for sure.
Jesus coming from low. Still aren't really able to do much more than take down those tier 2s. Roche respawning in 2.5 minutes now, so a relatively long respawn time. What you said when Quap gets big, like, is it we're waiting for Shiva's guard, or is it like this Lincoln sphere that's enough? Does she need to actually like output a lot of damage, or just stay alive for a long time in the fights? That's the bigger concern.
She just needs to be threatening. Threatening means killing people before BKB, or being able to blink on the back lines and kill the disruptor in the Nyx without being able to do it, without having to expend that many spells. Like, there's many ways she can be threatening. She can hit level 25 and just be a tank. That's also a pretty good way to be threatening as Queen of Pain. So, yeah. Annihilating the supports, or just being unkillable while doing damage, which is 25, or like, if she gets like a Scythe or something like that, or Orchid, they can kill the Nyx very fast. If she gets a Lincolns, she doesn't have to worry about these 2 targeted stuns coming up from this Sven and the Dragon Knight. Yeah. Look at Lil, he's right there again. He knows exactly where they're coming from.
He also scouted out that the ward just got taken there, so they realize they're all in that spot, and they might be actually going for this. No one with the haste turn is walking in. Dubu not going to get caught there. It looks like the rest of DC retreating back home. Make sure that they're all fine and dandy.
They think that Roche is a right now, though. Or it could be a VPR play.
Yeah, I guess that's the nice part about Clockwork too, making that scout happen constantly, and this is leaving a good amount of room for Abed to also farm up and the lane push. How close is that lifestealer to the AC? He's only 1,400 gold away.
Yeah, he's actually starting to hit pretty hard. His Midas has paid off for him, I would say. It's been a relatively slower game for him, so he hasn't like died. Like there wouldn't have been a fight where if he went another item instead of Midas, they would have won the fight. I think that's kind of the ultimate test for the Midas. It's not how many times you used it, or if it paid for itself back in whatever amount of uses for whatever amount of time. It's would you have won a fight, a big team fight? The
chemistry Midas test to the silencer. He actually doesn't have buyback. So now your tier 3 tower is starting to get hit as DC. Indeed, they're going to TP back with the lifestealer as well. And it looks Bulba hook shots in, able to catch onto Woden. Forev is going to eventually be brought back down. And now Ramsey's hitting hard on top of all of these heroes from the Dire. DC is going to drop the blink away. We'll keep that Quap alive for the moment. 4 other heroes dead for DC. Great fight for VP.
Pacha got all his spells off, and no one. Great blink there to get that stun on the Batrider. Again, you see the problems with Batrider not having BKB. They had that great early game preventing him from getting his BKB. You can see it on his quick buy next, but it's 30 minutes in. It's about the time that you want to have a BKB, but instead he has, like, look how slowly he, like, went into the fight. He was, like, super scared. Nyx could have been on top of him. He could have gotten blink stunned. He could have gotten glimpsed back. He could have gotten vacuumed even. Like, all these things are just so problematic for the Batrider when he doesn't have a BKB.
Yeah. It really is tough. And it's why it was such a great last pick of that Nyx Assassin. Man, and I'm sort of struggling now to figure out, like, where's this next item that you're going to be getting? Because, like, DK is going to have a halberd, and now you also don't have, like, the right clicks from the lifestealer as much. That's going to make the difference if it's, like, a 5-on-5.
Well, the AC is canceled out by Sven's AC.
Yeah, that too.
Invisibility.
Well, Shiva's guard for the Quap.
Quap 25 is the next stage.
Okay.
Then they can outlast the BKB. Right now they can't. Like, their whole team just got slaughtered inside the BKB. So get the 25 on Quap, try and survive until then. But it looks like the high ground push is just coming right now. They have to deal with this. So lassoing into the T4s is generally the play, but I actually think they have enough armor that might not even be enough.
300 health talent as well for DK. Didn't go for the GPM. A signal that they want to try and end this game right now. They've already thrown the medallion on him. The wraparound call has come.
Dire's middle
Can
tower
they actually
just
even
went
do
down.
anything with this DK? And if they drop everything on the Aegis, what's left afterwards? Rev looking for that opening. They want to try and separate, make sure that that Static Storm doesn't come out, and they have caught the Disruptor. No one manning up against Mason. He jumps inside the creep, keeping himself away for the moment. Sonic Wave is already out as well from Abed. Is he going to end up dropping down? Already so low, but the blink away does come, and no one starting to fall as well. Bulba is keeping that little bit of distance. He was disarmed for the moment, the Lifestealer, but now he's turning to fight, trying to bring down Ramses, trying to see if they can finally find something for themselves, and in fact, it is going to maybe be him dying. He is going to instead take down Bulba from the right clicks. No one's back up. The Impale comes through. VP making it happen, but they have lost 3 as well. We'll see if DC can clean up here at the very end as Nyx Assassin. Yule Scepter to keep himself alive. No one turns. He's still hard to kill off. Well, it looks like is going to get the TP out.
Dire's middle barracks have
Wow, how
fallen.
do they not lose additional heroes there? They did have the cheese, but it was on the dark side, not the Sven. So Sven had no Aegis and no cheese, and he actually was caught in a really bad place because of where Disruptor is. They went in to try and save him, but not enough items right there. A cheese pod would have maybe even been like 2 sets of racks right there.
It sort of had that feel of a fight that was teetering on the edge of just like swinging one way or the other, and they kind of ended up, I mean, obviously a DC big win, taking down the Sven, but still they did end up losing the range racks. About as best you could hope though, right?
Yeah, they had to use a lot of their shrines, and they were fighting right underneath the shrine. So Quap survived that fight too. That's pretty important for her. She was able to blink in and survive until her next fight. That's very bold, and she does have a lot of armor, but Sven is mega far better.
Pasha there, trying to catch the Batrider, but doesn't end up happening. Solo and no one together on a warding mission. They'll maintain some good vision. And with no Aegis, I mean, VP, do they take time to have a little bit of pause and get into their next items, or you just go again?
Shrines first.
Okay.
Yeah, their BKBs are getting a little bit low. You mentioned earlier whether or not it would be an issue, and it will be an issue if Quap continues to scale. Quap, surprisingly, has only died 1 time this game up on Abed, but he's still quite a bit of ways around level 25.
Well, take a look. Like you said, those shrines are fallen. There's actually no one right in front, and he is going to go for the stun immediately. Dubu is here as well. The Global comes out, and actually the turnaround, they have Lifesteal here as well. Bulba is able to separate them on the other side, and it's actually going to be Disruptor dropping the Static Storm onto a BKB'd Abed. He's alive for the moment. Lifesteal is still being contained, though. Can he get away? It's not going to happen. Forev is going to fall also. They do have buybacks if they want to use them. I don't know if VP want to push the envelope. Actually going to jump forward and catch Quap. Is the stun going to be enough? No. Quap is able to blink away. And Cheese Eaten, that's the play now. They want to make sure that they take this other
Dire's
lane of
structures
barracks,
are fortified.
rather the melee barracks. Buyback. Loba, hook shot on cooldown, 20 seconds. And no way for him to get there, so they force the buyback on the Batrider and then retreat back home.
Oh no, dreams of a BKB.
cheese for a buyback on Batrider. That's pretty worth it, yeah?
I'd rather have BKB than neither of those.
Okay.
So I don't think worth it. That was a bait by them. They thought they could kill the Quap because they have a lot of stun.
I'll take
They
that.
just had a simple 4-step. I guess, and global stun really prevent that from happening. And Sven was attacking the shrine, which DC were well aware of.
Dubna now has been able to build into a full Solar Crest also, which I don't think there's an answer for at this point. Abed, they're waiting. The stun comes out. I don't think that they can kill here. Maybe with actually the DK showing up, but no, Abed's just going to pop BKB and blink away. Safe play.
Speaking of 5-second BKBs.
We'll have that Maelstrom at least. He said, still no death. I mean, the next Roshan, if you don't end the game there, is that where things get a little bit testy for VP, or are they going to be pretty comfortable fighting even into the late game?
I think fairly comfortable. They still have room to grow on the DK. DK's 25 is also really, really good. But I think are looking at endgame right now. As you mentioned, with the health talent versus the GPM, you know they're going to try to endgame very quickly.
This is pretty big. DC knew that they were there. They dropped this ward down in vision of the sentry. And so they were able to stay back, make sure they didn't get picked off. No one gets open wounds, but no damage dealt, so we can blink away. Power still, or rather, Barracks still standing. A good stun comes out, breaking it out. Bulba jumps in as well. He's in a little bit of trouble. Abed's jumped into everybody, and, well, might need to blink away in a second since he's already being slowed down. They don't find the secondary stun. No way to do it through that BKB.
I think that was a quick mistake. He didn't kill the Observer Ward with Rage. That Observer Ward gave no one the vision to stun him as he blinked in.
Oh no, and now a triple kill for Ramses. Yeah, they're just blowing him up, and with no buybacks online, what was looking like on the verge of a comeback has been crashed back to reality. 16,000 net worth lead in Criming as it's a second lane of Barracks and maybe even a third.
Better game for them this game. One of the problems with playing as VP, you don't exactly know what heroes are in what position. Last thing did render this Batrider fairly use it. I would say even more than Carapace, it was his vendetta, just running around, popping the smokes, making the fights incredibly difficult. Also, it ruined the early big fall. Nice switch up from Virtus Pro, and of course, solid play from